Hi there, wig lover. This is Heather from CysterWigs.com, and today I'm bringing you the Visage wig by Margu in the color 4H. Now, I have to refrain from singing the 4H song that used to be on all those commercials back in the 80s for America. Whenever I see this color, I always think of the 4H Club. I digress, I'm sorry. Back on topic. So, this wig is layered and curled, and it's 100% hand tied. It does not have a lace front. What it has is hand knotting right up to the edge of the monofilament, and then under knotted right beneath the cap. And I'll show you when I take it off. It does have medical applications, polyurethane strips that you can add adhesive to underneath the ear tabs and the top of the wig, so it's great for medical use, especially if you have total hair loss, or at least front of the head alopecia. And it's a great alternative for people who like the look of lace fronts but hate the itch. This one is not particularly itchy, and if it weren't for the fact that it's a little small, it would be very, very comfortable on. Now, as I've mentioned many times in the course of my reviews, I have an average dash large sized head. It's 23.5 inches in circumference, which means that wigs that fit the vast majority of women will often be tight on me. And this is a great example. I feel like the cap is perfectly smooth, and if my head were like a couple inches lesser in diameter, this would be a very comfortable wig. So if you're one of my big-headed sisters, you're gonna be in a similar boat to me. So you might wanna email me or something, and I can steer you towards wigs that stretch a little bit more than this one does. So back on topic. Other than that, which I would feel like I would be remiss if I didn't mention, this wig's really beautiful. The color is gorgeous. This 4H is a rich, dark chocolate color. It's just very, very pretty. It is a highlighted shade by Margu standards. All of their colors, for the most part, are highlighted to a certain degree. But as you can tell, the highlighting here is fairly subtle. It's just, you know, it's like a ashy dark brown that's got a little bit of a golden dark brown on top of it. But I mean, it's super subtle. So, but it just makes it a slightly more dynamic color than just a flat dark brown. And it's very, very pretty. I find that the fibers, I mean, there's a lot of light coming in, and you know how reflective dark colors can be, especially when there's light shining directly on them. There's a lot of light in this video right now, and it's not terribly shiny. You know, I actually don't think that this is any more shiny than a comparable Jon Renau wig or a comparable, you know, Revlon, Rene of Paris, Noriko sort of wig. In fact, the Noriko, Rene of Paris wigs might be a little bit shinier than this. I think that this is actually fairly realistic looking. Though if you do have issues with synthetic shine, check out my dry shampoos. I think dry shampoo is a wonderful way to try to curb some of that shine without really killing the hair. So let me turn to the side of it so I can show you some of this beautiful layering. It's a very manageable length, by the way. This one is 11 inches at the nape. It reminds me a bit of Giselle. It's a very similar length to Giselle by Jon Renau. So very, very pretty. I mean, the style doesn't remind me of Giselle. Giselle doesn't have nearly this much curl to it, and it only has a mono top. This one is entirely hand-tied. But there's that. Here is the back. Let me tousle that just a little bit to kind of bring out the layering. And then here's the side. You could part it any way you want. I just chose a side, and I'll probably choose another one before the end of this review. But here, let me zoom in on the mono part. Now, I have an intact hairline, so this is actually where my wig cap comes in, and this is actually my bio hair, which is coloring this underneath here. But as you can see, that's a pretty decent mono top. This is part of a line of wigs that have hand-tied caps that are made for medical use specifically. And so because of that, these are made to be secure and to be comfortable, hence why they fit a little bit more snugly because if a wig's a little bit tighter, it's gonna stay in place better most of the time. A lot of people complain of slipping and sliding, and usually that means the wig's too big rather than the opposite. And I know it's really easy to assume it's because the wig's too small, but actually it's more likely that the wig's too big in most cases than the wig is too small. A lot of women overestimate their circumference, so that's why it's always great to just kind of get a tape measure and then you'll know for sure. So I think that this wig is great, especially if you have profound hair loss and you have issues with your wig sliding back a lot, because I'm going to take this off right now so I can show you. The underside of this wig has tons of polyurethane. Like here, see that? That's the ear tab, and it's a fairly stiff ear tab. It's pretty substantial. That's to help it stay in place. And the polyurethane is where you can put adhesive, and that way it stays even more securely in place. And that's, you can, if I put this really close to the camera, you can see what I mean by little bits of that lace showing up on top. That's what I mean by it's under knotted. Like it's not a lace front per se, but it does have knotting that extends beyond the monofilament top, just by like that much though. The monofilament top is extremely smooth. It is a double monofilament top. Now the only problem with that is it's going to make the wig hotter. These kind of wigs can get kind of hot. But the good news is that the back part breathes really well. And it's fairly stretchy. The place where it's not stretchy is around the perimeter because it's got all this polyurethane going on. That polyurethane will not stretch at all. So if you're questioning, if you're right on the border between, you know, large head and average, don't risk it. But if you're true average, you're going to be absolutely fine with this wig because it's going to fit snug but secure, and it's going to be comfortable on. So here's what that monofilament looks like up close. You can see that's pretty well done. And the hair fibers, they feel very realistic to me. The hair fiber isn't as silky as a Noriko fiber. It's not as baby fine as a Jon Renau fiber. But it's basically the diameter of a Noriko fiber that feels more akin to an Aesthetica fiber. If you've ever had an Aesthetica wig, you know that they've got a little bit of a drier feel. And that helps keep the shine down, which is a good thing. Helps it look a little bit more realistic. And you could see, even with this light coming in, there's a sheen, but it's not like bing in your face shiny. I wish I had a costume wig available so you could see the difference. Costume wigs, they are so shiny. They are very reflective. This just has a natural sheen to it. And you can kind of see where that golden brown pops off on top of that ash brown. And it's just very pretty, this color. And very subtle highlighting. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. And that way you can see how easy it is to style. It's not hard to get it into place. I actually prefer wigs in general that have a monofilament top without a lace front, or that have a standard cap with a lace front. I personally am not a huge fan, when I buy wigs for my personal use, of monofilament lace front wigs. It's just because I have an intact hairline and it makes it really hard to conceal. You always get a line where my wig cap comes in. But not everybody's in the same boat, and not everybody has the same preference. You kind of have to experiment a little bit to figure out what works for you, because let me tell you, the vast majority of women probably don't agree with me on that one. A lot of women love monofilament lace front wigs. But for me, I prefer wigs like this, that have the mono top and are hand tied, or have the mono top and an open back. It's easier to wear. You don't have to fuss with the lace front, you just put it on and it's ready to go. And decent coverage on the sides. And I have not brushed this. I have not brushed it, I have not combed it, I've just kind of fluffed it with my fingers a bit. So you could even do more to style this to kind of get it into place. This is a very pretty wig, and if you are in the need of something that's very secure, and that has places where you can apply adhesive, and has a completely hand-tied cap, you can't really go wrong with this wig unless you've got a really big head, which I've mentioned multiple times, so I don't think I need to keep beating that dead horse. I've beat it sufficiently. So thank you for watching. Again, this has been Visage, which I want to call Visage, like Michelle Visage, like over and over and over again, but in 4H for you, for America. Thank you for watching. I need to lay off the caffeine and visit my store. My Henry Margus are part of an in-house special that I'm experimenting with. If we get a good response to the in-house special, we'll keep it going forever. So buy up some wigs. My Henry Margus, my Noricos, my Renee of Paris wigs, Revlon, Envy, John Renault, basically every brand I carry with the exception of a couple. They're all 30% off or more right now. So check them out. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.